Hello and welcome to the Team Mystic Esports official broadcast for contenders. We've got Oblivione as per usual going up against Team Peps today. Two bangers, two banger teams. Very good records so far in this contenders summer series. And Oblivione though sitting very pretty at 5-1. Team Peps at 3-3. My name is Jace. I'll be your play-by-play caster for today. And joining me on colour is Biscuit, resident from NA. Biscuit, how you feeling? We've done some little bit of scouting on these teams. Fill us in for anyone that's unaware, and yeah, try and set us up because we're going to be getting into map one pretty quickly here.
Yep, you're right. We're going into map one almost immediately, so you don't have to wait if you're on the Twitch chat. You're just getting into the action right as you wanted. And yep, I'm joining you all from NA. I'm not from around these parts, but I'm extremely excited because we're watching two absolute top tier teams, Jace. It's Oblivione versus Team Peps, and we have a very interesting narrative as we go in. I do believe that this is round
Yep.
seven. So as we get into round seven, we're going to be seeing Lijiang as our first map, which both of these teams extremely aggressive, and control is the name of the game, and control is just absolutely amazing. You get to see players just go in and show who is the one that is going to come out on top. However, Jace, as we go in, I would like to highlight the season history of both of these teams. Right now, Team Peps, of course, not doing as hot as Oblivione, who have only dropped one map against EMEA, one of the top teams. Like undoubtedly, they beat both of these. And Team Peps, not doing as good as of late. Their latest match was a 0-3, but actually Oblivione looking very tough. And all I'm saying for chatters is these teams have history, and Team Peps
Yes.
has lost against Oblivione in contenders at second place twice. First time in a 3-4 scenario, and the other one in a 0-4. So Team Peps wanting the revenge right here.
Yeah, Team Peps want the revenge, absolutely, even if it's just for a win on the record to improve to 4-3. We're going to take a look at these rosters. Team Peps, if you've been around EU or Overwatch League for the last 2.5 years, you'll recognize all of these names. If you've been around and you're an old head like myself since 2017, you'll recognize names like Shax. Shax is considered a veteran at this point. Veteran might be an understatement. Shax was on 2018's Ordless and Hungry, and that is if you deserve that team, if you recognise that team, and you get to ride the buses for free, really showing your age there. But uh, Peps and Exo really star-studded, stacked rosters. Biscuit Team Peps just been around tier one and tier two. Very rarely do we see teams like this go together and sort of form after essentially their releases from Overwatch League rosters. It always feels like there's a couple, like a duo, for example, like Naga and FD God who played together on Paris. Normally, you'll get like a duo in EU who will then form a team and grab some rookies and try and prove themselves with a bunch of first-time contenders players and up-and-coming prospects. But very rarely do we get this team pep situation. Molfig, Naga, Hybrid, FD God, and Shax all Overwatch League and all on the same roster together.
Right, all of these players are like at least experienced with like contenders, except for one of them, and that is going to be Dip for the night. As you've been saying, some of these players have been in like Overwatch League for at least 2 to 3 years. We also have some open trials and open league winners on the side of Oblivione. So I'm just saying, both of these teams are like absolutely stacked, and Dip are
Yes.
going to have to prove themselves because they are playing alongside FD God. Some of these players have also been representing on the World Cup. For example, 2019, Shax played for Denmark with a really good showing, and then you have Naga, who's again been the
Also
DPS
Denmark.
that has who has also lost to Exluvione, as I said earlier, like on second place. Hybrid, Molfig, Spitfire players who have been doing extremely good in contenders all around the
Yeah.
place, and among these, it's rare. Like if it's already rare to see like a bunch of Overwatch League veterans and pro players coming in together, like the Avengers, then you have an
Yeah.
unknown among them, like a player that no one really has like pinned on the map. But if they have them here, Jace, it's because of a reason. So they have a
Yes.
lot to prove, and they're going against a team that maybe they break their curse tonight. Of course, this is not grand finals. This is not like for all the marbles, but this is still like something that matters a lot to teams. And we're going
Yeah.
into a best of five, going to prove which team is going to do the best. And here we have the round robin. As we see, Twisted Minds, the team that Team Peps lost to yesterday, if I'm not mistaken,
Yeah.
they are just looking absolutely unbeatable. Just look at that, 18 maps and
Mine's
only one loss.
Twisted Minds are so good. And I want to quickly bring your attention as well to the bottom of the standings. I was on the broadcast yesterday for Sheer Cold Pitbull Storm and O4 Dash Pitbull Storm, and Sheer Cold managed to pick up their second wins in the Summer Series. Pitbull Storm managed to get it against Sheer Cold in a very dramatic map 5. If you want to go and check back the VOD on that one, unfortunately, you'll have to hear me. But if you can survive that, then you'll be in for a banger of a game. That was 5 maps all the way down to the wire, and a great play from Pitbull Storm to essentially out-tempo an EMP on a 99 site on Ilios Lighthouse to get all the marbles and secure their second win, as I said. But we're here, we're on Lijon. Team Peps versus Oblivione. I would expect to see Hybrid and Naga, and I am not mistaken. Naga is and has been one of my favourite players for a long time. I will admit my personal bias towards him is very big. Naga has proven for the last 3 or 4 years in the scene he's so flexible. Was touted to be picked up for that Spitfire roster the moment they announced they were going to EU Biscuit, and hopefully I'll be proved right and he can showcase why. Team Peps though 3-3, Oblivione 5-1. Quickly here, Biscuit, what do you think of Team Peps comp as they roll out?
They roll out on the dive, which of course this is a very good map for Molfe because on the Winston we're gonna allow for a lot of but look at that getting caught out already, and this is the thing I want to talk about. Look at that, if you get walled, what do you do about it? The monkey barely gets out, but the brig gets caught out, and this is going to be such a bad position for them. But they managed to regroup, and as I was saying, Oblivione on the brawl, they can sustain all of these fights for long periods of time. They can just get on point, and how does Molfe ever break through them? But look at that, it doesn't matter. Hybrid is opening up with the first kill.
Good pick. Crispy falls. Team Peps now have the advantage. Hybrid on that Sombra finding a veteran level pick. Now Oblivione, they're on a rush comp, but they cannot rush. They cannot go anywhere. They're just on point. They've got the sustain to do it, mind you, but I think they're just going to be bleeding overcharge. Hybrid, though, has to translocate out. Luckily, though, Molfig in on the Winston, just going to stay in. That's Team UK Maymone, by the way. Put some respect on his name as he takes down the Winston, that former London Spitfire Winston. Naga, though, on the Tracer, very versatile player, manages to find the pick. The pulse bomb goes in early, actually. This fight is still going, but with Oblivione on the point, Team Peps is going to have a hard time displacing it.
Look at that, they open up with a kill very early here. Naga with the Tracer. It looks like they are overstaying their welcome, but they are not. They are keeping them busy. They are making them waste their own abilities, their own healing. And look at that, the team is opening up the point little by little with this Tracer.
Yeah, look how aggressive the Lucio is on the side of Oblivione. As I say that, kind of cursed it. Flies a little bit too close to the sun. Do not want to be disrespecting Naga in the range of those pulse pistols. And then they fall for it. Exo, though, still got control of the point and still happy to trade 1-for-1 on those picks. It's 1-for-1, and then it's 2-for-1. Molfig manages to up the ante on that trade. That Nemesis form from the Oblivione tank is not going to find anything. And Team Peps are just going to have to be sent running to the hills for now. They do have EMP in their back pocket, though.
Team Peps are just struggling to get in here, and that is one of the troubles when you're going against the Brawl comp on the dive, but the ultimates are gonna start coming into play. We see the beat, and this is going to be massive because Molfig will not be able to get anything with that much life.
No, I don't think so. The EMP's dropped basically just on the May. Cryo comes out in time. There was no target focus from Team Peps, and they trade an EMP for a Cryo freeze. And I don't know about that one, Chief. Molfig, though, luckily manages to clean up the Lucio once again, effectively Oblivione, so they are trapped in the same predicament as before. They want to rush, but they can't go anywhere. The freeze is dropped straight on top of Molfig, however. Oblivione trade 2-for-1 in the fight that Team Peps use EMP Biscuit. They are losing it to this pure raw sustain of Exo on this point. Cronus, though, tries to flip this back, will refuse to let it die. FD God here pops a Kitsune rush. And this Winston is going to come barreling on through. Yes, I believe up. Hybrid back in spawn. Naga just respawned as well. Cookie also on the Reaper. Oblivione having to hang on for dear life. Vistola just forced into the power block. And unfortunately, his light to shut out the Omnic is turned into a toaster. And Team Peps finally get the flip.
And that is a costly win, Jace. You get the point, of course, but you're at 96%, and then Oblivione is coming back with the Suffer. They are coming back with the Blossom, and Sky is about to get their own ultimate. So when you only have a Pulse Bomb, the Pulse Bomb has to be huge, and Cronus is going to allow Molfig with the Nano to maybe get a good kill onto Crispy. If Crispy falls, this may be the win condition that they need. They take over Wide Room, and we're speeding in the first fight, breaking on, and this might be the last one of the set.
It might just be great boop, though, from Crispy to take out Cronus. That was a nano boost for Team Peps. It would have been such a big win condition. You need that nano boost to come on because Hybrid's EMP is already up and ready to go. Oblivione, they don't even need their big cooldowns. That Nemesis form, that Annihilation on the point would have just been massive, and it's a singular sound wave from the lesser spotted Brazilian tree frog, aka Lucio from Crispy. Out of all the impact players in this lobby, Biscuit, it was the Lucio of Oblivione that put the final nail in the coffin for that fight. We hyped up the DPS, we hyped up the tanks, and it's just the Lucio to boop off Cronus that gets the all-important play.
In Overwatch 2, supports are no joke. They are going to get their damage, and they sometimes feel more like they are the most impactful players in the lobby. However, we have to move on, Jace, because, you know, you lost the first map, Oblivione taking it over Team Peps' first point. That is absolutely fine. They were running a matchup that, as we know, Dive doesn't do the best against Brawl, because, you know, Brawl just sustains you. Your monkey can never get any damage in. But Team Peps, they switch over to the more traditional Brawl comp, and there's going to be Symmetra. Hybrid on Symmetra. If they get the tier 3 beam, Jace, they might turn Ramach into a toaster, just as you were saying. The first fight opens up, then this barrier is going to die very quickly.
Molfig so low though, taking a page out of Hardy's book, his former tank buddy. Playing Reinhardt here, but I don't think it's going to be the best matchup in the world. Verstola is going to be more than happy to smash into him with that Nemesis form once it's dropped. Team Peps though, they're okay to fight long. Cronus basically already has window, and Hybrid's backloaded damage with that Sim Beam is just going to be massive. Watch for Hybrid later in these fights. Look at Verstola, goes into that form looking to try and aggress. That's what you want to do with it. And he's just forced to power block. Now Cronus pops the window, he's out of cooldowns, immediately pinned by Molfig. Can Verstola live? It looks like he can, but he's so low. Everyone and their mothers shooting at Verstola on the side of Team Peps, and he does not die, and all that space, all that resource attention being drawn out by the Ramatra is bullied and thrown back at Team Peps tenfold by Cookie, by Mamo, and by Crispy, and by Sky, who manages to hold on to that ultimate as well. Great fight. Oblivione supports once again, Biscuit, carrying that fight to keep Verstola up.
Absolutely. Without the supports, Verstola doesn't get out and they lose that immediately. But we have to keep moving because the fights keep going and going. We almost have the wall here on the side of Hybrid. And if they manage to split the map, if Cookie is not able to get their shots in, this could be a really good win for the side of Team Peps. And they do have the Shatter. The Shatter and Verstola doesn't have their own Annihilation. They had to invest it last fight to win it. So there's going to be 4 ultimates versus 4 ultimates with Hybrid. With Hybrid's wall probably going to be the tiebreaker. The thing that is either going to make or break this fight.
And Hybrid just walls off the supports, I guess, to force them forward, scared of that window, but it's Sky Ripper on top of the high ground in the 1v1 against Hybrid. There's some London Spitfire British Hurricane warfare going on there. And speaking of, that's some Paris Eternal warfare as Naga takes down Verstola. The Flex DPS taking down their former off-tank. Cookie, though, with this overclock on point, got a great sightline to fire on. The Rhine Shield should be good. Great Blizzard from Maymone. It comes in, the Reinhardt tries to pin out, and he's just ward. Molfig falls, FD God and Hybrid, though. Try and flip it back, actually. Maymone dropped the Blizzard and doing a mistake from Oblivione, was it? Did they over-aggress too far? They found Molfig, yes, but it was only that German main tank locked in the Blizzard. And his DPS did the rest of the work. Team Peps finally find the flip.
They flew a little too close to the sun over there, but Naga's wall, we have to give props. Without that wall, they die immediately, and FD God was there to protect Molfig. Get off of my tank, he says, and right now it's going to be 2 ultimates against none on the side of Oblivione. That is a bad loss for them. They cannot recuperate until 60% more or less, and Naga, they're going to play early here.
Verstola's Nemesis form is gone. Naga's Blizzard doesn't really find anyone, but it does split the front and the back line. Verstola went into that Nemesis form so early in the fight, which means someone else, the next Oblivione, has to come up big, and they do. Cookie finds FD God once again, losing that Lucio early. You are unable to speed and aggress as quickly as you do, so your Magus becomes less effective, your Sim becomes less effective, but not when you walk into the turrets. Hybrid finds Crispy, it's no Lucio for either side. Maymone finds a juicy little right-click headshot though onto Naga. Great stuff from the Team UK Welsh DPS. And Oblivione, you can see why they're 5-1, Biscuit. So clean in this first Lijiang round.
Absolutely. They used 3 ultimates against them, Jason. They won it like it was nothing, and they have their own 4 ultimates to seal the deal right here. But they are not, at this moment, being played. They don't have them, so this is a dry fight. Only pure fundamentals, and the TP comes out. They go for an aggressive play, and they need to take over point quickly, but FD God finds.
Oh, it's not good. FD God falls once again. Verstola just punches him. That's another Paris Eternal on Paris Eternal crime. Naga, though, manages to trade it back. I think getting rid of that Ram might just be it. Cookie is going to have to go miraculously big here in Sky. Also trying to find it. Cookie, never mind. You have to do it in a 1v4, 2v4 situation. Cookie, what are you doing? You can't get away with it. Surely not. Sky Ripper as well in hand. It's the bat teeth and the Sojourn. 2v3, 2v4 situation. Team Peps had the Rhine Shield, but they ultimately had no hope. Oblivione run Team Peps out the building for map 1 of Lijiang.
Oblivione, they want to show them that they are not winning again, and this is going to be a very good beginning for side effects of Oblivione. They played this role absolutely perfectly, James. You saw them win even without ultimates. You saw them win with ultimates. The rotations are on point. They are showing how you play contenders, and they are here to win it all. They might not be the top team, but they are on their way to become it today. And Team Peps, they don't manage to quite seal the deal, but they had a couple of good moments. We saw now against Blizzard, they had really good plays with hybrids walls. So I do believe that they are going to they're going to have a little bit of struggle. Of course, this team, they know how to play against them, and a 2-0 is not the prettiest of beginnings. But as we go into the next match, what do you think? Any adaptations? Any signs of, hey, maybe if we change this, we can start winning?
I think Peps definitely needed to mirror that composition early. I think kind of I'm not going to say ego because that's not the reason they were playing those compositions. It was, I think, just pure comfort and meta read. EXO played this Ram comp the entire time, and Team Peps were all in on trying to kill Vestola on the Ramatra there, and being more than happy to essentially get him to waste all of his power block. But I've seen it at higher level and I've seen it at lower level. If you tunnel on killing the Ramatra with Baptiste and Lucio alive, as long as they don't die first, Vestola is just allowed to live forever. So much sustain, so much damage reduction. He goes into that defensive block stance. And Cookie and Sty were just doing the rest. That last fight, they should have lost. Vestola died early, they lost. Their tanky was basically picked off. They had the Rhine shield to try and mitigate and walk on the long range hit stand of Star Ripper and Cookie, but they were just able to find angles. Cookie zipping around the map did not miss a singular railgun when it mattered, and man, crazy fight for EXO though. They played that so well, and they're gonna walk away with a very deserved map one. If I'm Team Peps, you've got some very competent rush players amongst your squad. I would have loved to see Molfig on that Ram, but took a page out of Haddy's book on the Reinhardt. Unfortunately, much like the London Spitfire with their Rhine-centric comps in the Overwatch League, Team Peps replicate it and they run into the same problem, which is that Ramatra Biscuit is just better.
Yep, Ramatra is going to absolutely go over your dive and just gonna run over it. There's nothing you can do about it. Like we've seen it. It's like one of the most basic, one of the most basic counters to a dive is going to be a brawl. If you jump into them, the monkey's not surviving. There's nothing you can really kill. Like May is just gonna go into ice block, Lucius way too fast, and then Moira is just gonna fade out. And what do you do about it? Like they have so much sustain to the point that diving something is not exact. It's not exactly possible when you have a massive Omnic just punching you down around the
Yes.
place. But there's a couple of things that I would like to see switch as we go into hybrid. Which some of these maps they allowed for a lot of dives. We saw Numbani yesterday, for example, lots of really good games. On NA, we saw a 6-5 set that was absolutely intense. And as we go into this one, I think that Cookie, you saw the showing that they had. They just don't miss. There's a reason they've won open trials. There's a reason that they won contenders back in the day when it mattered a lot. So trust me, these players are here to play. It doesn't matter that they are in the round robin. They are playing it like it's playoffs. They are playing it like it's grand finals. So you cannot doubt them. And hopefully we get to see Shax and Dib come into play. I'm really excited. I want to see Dib. Just some of these players, you don't know them, and you want to see what they are capable of doing. But we're waiting just here for a little bit for what Team Peps is going to play. I mean, you saw it at the beginning. They kind of have this itch to play dive. So I'm thinking maybe Numbani. I'm thinking some maps that will maybe allow for a vertical play, sometimes with the monkey, sometimes with the
Yeah.
Genji, if we get to see it on the Echo. A lot of things can happen here, Jace.
Yeah, I think so. If you are the side of Team Peps, if I'm just looking at this roster purely on paper, I'd say that Numbani should be one of their better maps. We'll allow Nada to play the Echo, we'll allow Molfig to play the Diva, and no matter what the scope and change of the game, these players have experience playing those heroes at an Overwatch lead level. And whilst Oblivione are very good, I think it is going to be that veteran experience. When you've been able to, no matter what the meta, no matter what new heroes Blizzard release that are broken, Kiriko, Ramatra, Junker Queen, Brig 1.0 when she was released back in the day, if you have thousands upon hours of scrim experience on a map like Numbani, playing Diva, playing Echo, you know the rotations, you know the kill spots, you know the kill boxes, you know the counter rotations. You almost downloaded it all subconsciously. So you've just been through it so many times, and it is that experience with the game that can lead to differentials in slightly unfamiliar scenarios. But I say that, and Team Peps just kind of got blasted by Sojourn in that last fight. That was something unfamiliar. I think Sojourn's still pretty good on Numbani, to be honest. He's good on every map if he can hit the shots, especially like Cookie was. But I think going into this, I would still favor Team Peps, particularly because they've picked Numbani. I would still favor them on this map. So I'd expect to see a 1-1, but I gotta remember, I gotta give respect to EXO. Like, they're 5-1 in Contenders Summer Series for a reason.
Yep, and just as I predicted, as we were talking about it, we want to see the dive, and Numbani is going to be the map for that. Team Peps, look at that, they're already locking it in. They're excited and they want to play it. A little bit of a couple of differences here, and I do want to point them out. The Diva instead of the Monkey. Diva allows you to play front to back. You can go to the front, of course, tank some of that damage, and if they ever try to dive you with that Echo, because Echo is like the trademark hero for this map, you're going to go eat all of that damage, all that spam with Matrix, and you're chilling. Like, your Ana is going to be also the name of the game. So Echo and Ana, we need to keep an eye on them, because the antis are going to be what we play for. The Sombra and the Hanzo are going to be a really big difference as well. The Sombra looking to get a couple of dives onto the Ana, set up with those sacks and onto the Brig, but the Hanzo, this is a big red exclamation point. If they ever get a singular pick going in, which is what Oblivione is trying to do, they're playing slow, they're trying to get a headshot, and if they get one, they win. But look at that, they catch at the Sombra, and the game is already starting very aggressive.
Yeah, Cookie actually deciding not to go for the Hanzo. Maybe just the early Sonic arrow came out, or they get the Scouting Seether on Sombra and immediately counter swap. Cookie and Crispy, though, it's kind of going to be a duel with damage boosted Ash, probably against damage boosted Echo. One thing I will say is that Oblivione's main support here is going to have to juggle the beam usage between both DPS. They don't juggle it that time, but Cookie still finds the mark anyway. Cronus falls. Naga, though, trades back with that damage boost. Naga gets another one. The power of the Mercy Echo combo, stronger than Pharmacy ever was. And Naga just once again showing up here on his signature Echo. Finds two in this fight. Hybrid comes in for the third cleanup. And this fight, well, Team Peps play his counter dive beautifully. Naga falls at the end. Should just get rezzed. Oblivione, I think they've overstayed as I say that. They get the Mercy and the Echo. EXO have respawns here though, Biscuit.
Yeah, they do have the numbers advantage, and this might just be a cap. A little scrappy fight. I don't quite get it. Yeah, that is going to seal the deal for this point. Very confused on what happened right there, because Sombra is going to get... Oh, wait, that's a kill on the Echo. This could be a recontest, but I don't think so. Looks like Oblivione just have the point down. They have the rest. They play their numbers. That is going to be a very intimidating time back, to say the least.
I'd have to wonder how the disconnect between the Echo, the Ana, and the Diva happened in that fight for Team Peps. Naga did so much heavy lifting at the start, finding 2 picks on his own, and then Molfig and Cronus were nowhere to be seen to help the follow-up. Hybrid managed to find the pincer, but EXO were just off the respawn, off the angle, and they were immediately traded back, and once that Echo falls, your damage in this comp absolutely plummets. As the Echo quite literally plummets out the sky as well, but EXO are just more than happy to push the cart. They're going to have Nano coming up soon if they've not already got it, but as I say, that Hybrid stalking for the EMP, going to look to drop it. Here we go, finds 4. And Cookie's just immediately obliterated. Nice dive in from Team Peps, and that is just going to be the fight.
Yep, that is going to be a very quick fight. Oblivione, they invest their ultimates, but they don't get it quite a lot. But look at this. They are... Oh, I was going to say that they could maybe win it, but that is going to be like a lost fight for them. They jump off. They do not want to get them to stagger. And that is going to be only one ultimate on each team side. The bomb, of course, not going to be as strong as a copy. So Oblivione, they do have an ace up their sleeve as they go into this next fight. They need to be careful, though. Sky is going to have to be protected a lot from the dives that Naga is setting up. Naga, absolutely beautiful work of the Echo.
Yeah, and if they can't go for that dive, they're more than happy to poke out the stall as well. I saw this yesterday from Shit Cold and Pitbull Storm. Pitbull Storm in particular doing it so well to just poke out the enemy Diva, and then from there, aggress on to the backside. Because once you move that Diva, there is nothing that they can do to peel the pure damage boost threat that can come in from that Echo. Cookie, though, on that Sombra, finds a hack and conversion onto FD. God Cronus falls as well, both support. Perfect dive out for Oblivione to start the fight. Naga quickly falls too. It's going to force FD God over to the Brig. But I mean, EXO got everything they wanted. That's 2 supports instantly dropped in the fight, and EXO continued to push this part with 3 minutes on the clock.
Right, and they are going to have 2 ultimates coming up. 3 ultimates, my bad. And 2 of those, that's EMP and Nano. Look at that, they are trying to get their staggers. Cookie's gonna get out of there very quickly, unless they choose not to do so. And Team Peps looking like they need to get out the most massive of Nanos if they want to contest this one, which they could because they do have EMP coming up, but they contest, and this is going to be a very scrappy fight.
Yeah, EXO should just drop the EMP. There we go. Nice Nano onto the break to keep them alive. That was the primary target, but it was instantly peeled. Cronus actually avoiding the EMP. Terrific play from the Ana. It's going to convert into a pick on the enemy Ana. Sky falls. Naga is in on Tracer and looking to do work. Malphite though pops out a mech. It's just that damage. The Echo and the Sombra can put so much pressure on these divas that you can't live for too long in these fights. It's so enormous, the overwhelming damage. Cronus and FD God find the cleanup in the fight. Crispy and Mayman going means EXO have no way back for them, and they're finally going to find the holes. But that was a bit of a failure for Team Peps in that fight. You would think with the EMP they had such a massive advantage, and it just went awry.
Right, but it doesn't matter right now because they do have the rally coming up, Jace. So even though the EMP is wasted, as you were saying, I do think that they do have a chance with the rally, with the defense, with the armor. They have so many resources, but they do have the Nano and they do have the copy. So look at this Naga looking for a very good one. What a stick that is going to kill the entire push.
Yes, Sky going down there. Hopefully the call comes in from Team Peps to barrel in and protect. Actually, I thought there was a Mercy on the field. There wasn't. My bad. It's just Briggs. So that Ana going down, you're absolutely right. Completely kills the push. Team Peps more than happy to trade 1 pulse bomb for an entire 30-45 seconds of respawn. And once again, they're just cycling ever so closer to their EMP.
Yep, and no mercy means that you cannot just kill the support and absolutely win. Killing FD God and Crispy is going to be one of the main factors on who wins the fight. The Nanos are ready and they're coming out already.
Maymo, nanoed, and all the damage comes through. I was questionable about the Echo pick with the lack of the mercy. Tracer Sombra has a good job at poking down that Echo, but not when they're nanoed. All the confidence of 1,000 Suns and 1,000 men behind him. Maymo just barrels it in there, sinks all of his cooldowns and just blows up the entirety of Team Peps. As EXO follow behind him. Great 1-2 combo from Sky and Maymo there. All the heavy lifting done by Maymo, but great setup Nano. Looked like a bit of a set play. Vestola did a great job of DMing their Echo into, and EXO are going to walk this in and start their third attack with 2 minutes left.
Right, but we have to see the defense. It's 2 minutes. That is not as intimidating of a time bank as it could be. And Team Peps, they do have 4 ultimates against 4. So this is going to be all about the EMP's hybrid in position, and they use it immediately.
Ooh, Cookie falls, perfect pick. No counter EMP can come out. That might have been a thorn in the side for Team Peps late in this fight, but Hybrid just immediately drops it. No hesitation. Hybrid though, falling low. Crispy does commit the rally to try and keep their team alive. Maimon is on the duplicate Tracer, but Naga on the original Tracer says there was only 1 for this lobby, but Maimon says anything you can do, I can do better. Naga trying to 1-up their DPS counterpart. Looks like they're going to 2-up him, so that's another kill onto that Echo who popped out of that Tracer form only moments ago. And as the dust settles, EMP committed by Team Peps. And it looks like they are going to get the hold. I think just great pick early onto Cookie. There was no way back for them once the EMP was taken off the board.
Yep, and all eyes onto Naga because they cleared 3 kills right there against the copy. They cannot contest the card right now, and Cookie's EMP is going to be so bad. Look at that, they are pinging FD God and they are setting up the dive. There's going to be a Nano to save them, probably. Oh, but they don't get it.
100 EMP deserves the other. The EMP, the Nano boost is missed actually. And they go it onto the Diva instead, so FD God just immediately falls over. Great EMP engage from EXO. They have to try and clean it up from here though, because you do not want to be bleeding members staggering in this fight. Respawns come in for Team Peps. They come in thick and fast. Malphite though been popped out. The mech got Diva bomb. Can he get back into it? It looks like he probably can. As that's Vestola's bomb going over the top. Naga falls to it. FD God finds a whip shot onto that baby Diva, but Maimon trades him. Nonetheless, it's 2-4-2 here. 3v3 on the point. Maymon's pull storm might just be the end of the push. Like I said though, I think Team Peps are just going to have the numbers here on the respawn. Yeah, 4 back on point already. Oblivione can go nowhere. Vestola has counter swapped the Zarya.
And look at the Kitsune. They almost have Kitsune already, and they have the EMP, which they do not have on the side of Oblivione. They use it, and that is the first great pick.
It's just EMP fight. Welcome to Sombra Meta, ladies and gentlemen. This is just how we do it in EU. The overtime wick starts. There's been no downtime between these fights because one of these Sombras has just been building EMP. Kochi's got 73% themselves now. They're about to try and shut the lights out and end this full cap here, but the nano onto Vestola. Look at how charged Zarya is. He's going to ward onto FD God, takes down that French bridge. And now Cronus has to force that Kitsune rush to keep the rest of their team alive, to keep their resources up. EMP comes in from Cookie, and it's going to be a world of hurt. But for Team Peps, they're still winning in this fight. Zarya Vestola is at 100 energy, but they can't really do anything. Crispy's rally should help to keep Vestola alive, so you'd think the later this fight goes on, the better for Oblivione. Even down these respawns, there we go. Vestola finds one, Vestola finds two, Vestola is blocking to find a third. Sky is going to get that follow up too. And Team Peps, they found 2 picks in that fight, but Cookie's EMP, Crispy's rally, and more importantly, Vestola's counterpick in that final fight. They had Zarya on the objective biscuit. Vestola was so charged and highly unkillable, both of his supports alive, and well, I trust Vestola in that situation 99 times out of 100. There is no way Team Peps were going to do anything in a split fight against Vestola on 100 energy with both Crispy and Sky behind him.
Right, and one of the things that I do think that happened is that they underestimated Sky's nano. Like, they try to burn the bubbles off of Pistola. It's Zarya, you know, we can kill her immediately, but then the nano comes in. And then you're dealing with 85% charge with a nano. There's no way you're living against it. So trust me, Team Peps, even though they don't quite manage to fend them off, this is not like, you know, they don't manage to stop them with second point. They do manage to get them onto the overtime. So although not the best defense of all time, that is going to be a very possible situation to deal with if they manage to take it all the way. However, look at the switches. Malphite onto the Monkey and Pistola on the Diva. This allows for a lot of counter dives. Cookie is going to be very, very vulnerable, as well as Sky, since Crispy and Maimon are going to play by themselves. They want to get those picks, and it's all going to be like, will Hybrid and Molfig be able to set up and get their kills, or will Pistola get the best of them and win on the counter dives? And also FD got on the Kiriko. This is a very unusual pick. You usually see the break, you usually see the Mercy, but if they're playing Kiriko, they want to TP in, get a headshot, and just absolutely roll over the team. So very different objectives on both of these comps, but it looks like Team Peps, they are just going all in.
Yeah. And all in is absolutely the name of the game. When you've got Winston, you're never going to win in the poke war against Echo and Ash, but Exo more than happy to sit on these high grounds and control it. But this should just be a classic dive from Team Peps. Winston will allow you easy access to either of these high grounds, which then allows Hybrid and Naga to walk in. No Mercy pocket for Hybrid, which means Maimon should just win the 1v1 because of the 2v1. Cookie, though, without that damage boost, just instantly flick headshots onto Naga. That Tracer falls. And this should just be Malphite being sent back to the spawn room. As I say, that big peel coming in from this backline, it's going to feed a lot of ultimate charge over, but Exo are going to be fine to let them out for now. Hybrid falls. Exo, well, they win the first fight on defense at least.
Jace, this is not looking pretty. That's all I have to say. They almost have bomb, they almost have copy, and the nano is coming online. If they use their ultimates early, they are going to set up a tempo that will just run over Team Peps. But they almost have the Kitsune, which they cannot really use together unless they go onto point, and they almost have the nano. The nano onto Molfig is going to be so good because Sky, they don't have a break to protect them. So this is going to be all about getting Diana, but also already online on the side of Oblivione, just shy of 5%, and Molfig just getting poked out brutally here.
Nano boost comes up first. Molfig is really getting poked out. That's the name of the game. One of the ways you can beat the dive, but that's a damage boost. Execute beam. Goodbye, Hybrid. Vestola gets the eat on the pulse bomb just before it drops the floor. Veteran level play there from the veteran off time. Naga tries to find the blink melee into that D-mech, and it just doesn't happen. It's Oblivione while they commit the nano, and that is it. Team Peps' pulse bomb has been eaten. Team Peps still have the nano though, Biscuit, but it's not looking good for them. You're right.
Yep, and Oblivione, look at that. I already said it. They used the nano early. You know what that means? Their tempo is on their side because Team Peps, they don't have any ultimates. They only have a primal coming up and a Kitsune, which they cannot really use. And Oblivione, they have the copy and they have the bomb. That bomb is going to make it so that Diva has effectively like more than 1,500 HP. And then you have Valkyrie. With Valkyrie, how are you killing Crispy? With that movement, this is contenders. You're not killing them. So Oblivione, they have all for winning, but look at that.
Nano
the Hail Mary nano.
Nano Echo. Hybrid is just going to have to be forced to poke out with it. Can't really go in. They found Vestola. Big damage that goes onto Diva, but Sky Ripper taking them down on the high ground. Did not miss that. I think went at least 3 for 4 on those shots. Vestola finds the isolated Honor in the backline and going to clean them up as well. Oblivione, they've been winning the poke war. They've been forcing out Molfig on this Winston. Team Peps, You're right, Biscuit. They're just really struggling to get going. The poke from Oblivione is so overwhelming. Vestola and Maimon in particular can just be everywhere. And it leads Team Peps to do, well, wacky stuff like this. Look at Naga in the backline going for this flank. He kind of has to stage from here in order to get something going. Minute left on the clock. Kind of expect the fight to come
And how
down.
do you get something going, right? Because look at that,
Yeah.
Oblivione, they already set up the tempo. They have Bob. How do you beat the Bob on point? You're not contesting it. Naga is going to fall immediately to any shots. But look at that, they try to a different angle. We try to kill Pistola, but we have to run away. And by Maimon, they gotta kill the Kronos. The
Yeah,
push is
Fever
dead.
Bomb. Cookie has Bob. There's too many resources. Team Peps try and dive the high ground, but they just get all in. Oblivione playing the game of poker, and they said, okay, you want to raise? Well, we're going to raise with a Royal Flush. Try and beat this. And unfortunately, they could not. 28 seconds gone, and I backed Team Peps for Numbani, and unfortunately, I'm going to have to swallow my words here. And I thought the veterancy of this comp would be enough, but Oblivione, such a clean counter poke dive coming out from them. Team Peps just got a pulse bomb, and I'm not looking forward to this final fight for Team Peps.
Jace, they still have ultimates. 3 ultimates on their side, but what a hack. They don't manage to
wait.
kill the Crispy. Wait, this could happen?
Clutch, when it matters most, the Nano goes on to Maimon. He's got the copy. Naga falls though. There we go. That's one piece that you need for Oblivione. That's 2 FD. God falls. The copy goes in. The anti onto Cronus. Maimon finds 2 in this fight yet again. It is just the Welsh Echo against the world. Standing alone. The rest of their team now there to back him up. And they're going to give the Nano boost over to probably Vestola, I imagine. Nope, it was onto their other Ana. As Sky turns into a DPS on the high ground. Oblivione. That was a impressive Numbani defense.
Right, and I'm just saying, Jace, I don't think there was a singular moment in which a member of Oblivione, like past the first 40 seconds, didn't have an ultimate ready. They didn't use the bomb to get like a Hail Mary kill. They used it just to play safe. Maimon, they always had that copy when they needed it most, and Sky's Nanos, they just dictated the tempo, and that is what you're supposed to do as a support. You're not just heal botting, you're setting it up. Hey, I want to use my Nano because I want to win this fight. I want to use Nano because I want to have ultimates for the next one. This is a contenders level support, and Oblivione setting up what they're looking like. They're the unstoppable force and the immovable object all in one team. 2-0 already at the beginning, and this has just been a wash, Jace. Look at that. 2-0,
Yeah.
3-0, and we're going into Escort, which Escort not the prettiest of maps, but I do believe that some teams have this mentality of, hey, we lost on the dive, we lost on the brawl, so now we go into Circuit Royale, which could be a
Play
pick.
poke.
Yep, play poke. Just if the first 2 didn't work, we bet it all on the Sigma. We bet it all on our snipers just being better. So we could see very different compositions. I am expecting a Circuit Royale because it's what the teams usually do if they lose the first 2 maps. But
Yeah.
we'll see. I'm just saying, Oblivione playing like absolute top tier team.
Yeah, so good. They're 5-1 for a reason, and doing it on their own stream, almost on their home turf. I think quietly as well, what I love about that play of the game that we saw from Maimon was just the instant hesitation to peel Nano their Ana there in copy, just to almost ensure that there was no shenanigans going on in the long fight. And Sky just does not die in that last fight. It would have been fine, the numbers were still overwhelming, but it's just a small little play that shows what mindset you're in and how locked in, how laser focused you are in every single minute detail that Oblivione are performing and functioning at, and it's really being empowered by this Echo. For EXO, they're giving Maimon the damage boost, and sometimes it can go awry. And I think you can really get poked out playing against a D.Va, particularly a Tracer and a Sombra. That Echo is the primary target. You are the primary source of damage for that composition. Everyone else is just there to follow up. But Oblivione, sometimes they don't need to follow up Biscuit. Like Maimon is just killing them all on his own.
Right, and then their tank is just protecting them forever, and Sky is getting damaged in as they are healing the whole team. How do you play against this team, Jace? If I'm in there, I think I just roll over. But Team Peps, I don't think they're going to do that because they've already chosen the next map, and we're going directly into Route 66, I do believe. So this is not going to be what we expected. They are not trying to play the poke, maybe not very confident in it. Going into a map that allows for very different playstyles, we could see the dive, which is the most common at the beginning. You have to take over this gas station. You have to set up your place with your monkey, with your bubbles, with like your D.Va. So a lot of things could happen, but we could also see the brawl and towards the later stages of the map. But I do think it's going to be monkey all over the place. However, I'm just saying Team Peps Malfig, although they've been doing a really good job, Bestola on this Diva just looking like they are not letting their team die like a singular time. They're going for that positive KDA without a singular death. And I do believe that in Umbani they were basically uncontested. I don't think they died a singular time. So, although
I
things are
don't
looking
think
a
so.
little. Yeah. So, although things are looking very rough for Team Peps, this map, it's a little bit of a wild card. A lot of things could happen. So, could we see the 3-0? Could we see a reverse sweep? And nothing is off the table, but I'm just saying this is a tall hill to climb.
It is, and I think Exo and Team Peps are probably going to be taking a small break here. But if you're Team Peps, you need time to reconvene. The last thing you want to do is just roll map after map after map where you're making, I just think, compositional mistakes. But there it was execution mistakes as well, and Exo just completely outplaying them, to be honest. And whilst the records definitely can be used to back that up, it's surprising still, nonetheless. But the DPS line of Oblivione has just been so good, and I think if I were to pick any line or duo that have been the most valuable, though, Exo's supports once again were just so good. Star Ripper and Crispy have been unkilled. They have been peeling absolutely everyone. They have been living through too many cooldowns, so much free space they're able to exist in and get value from. Team Peps have tried to do everything to shut them down, and it just has not worked. We're going over to Route 66. I expect to see probably the Monkey again. Morphic going to pull it out. This composition clearly that Team Peps are defaulting to. Anna Brig, Tracer Sombra, Winston. Clearly they prefer it on this map. Exo, I don't think you've gone anywhere near this comp so far, and it looks like it might not be the same thing again, as they're just going to play probably hybrid, but you never know. Oblivione are cooking for now, but the important thing to focus in, Team Peps. So we clearly know this composition is what Team Peps are defaulting to. Biscuit, tell me about why this comp is probably at its best on Route 66 defense.
Route 66, you don't have a lot of short side lanes, Jace. You're not like in Lijiang, which by the way, we've only been playing Overwatch 1 maps, so that's a funny thing. However, these maps they allow for a lot of verticality, and Monkey excels at that. Naga, however, on the Tracer, going to play very horizontally, so it's going to be Molflick scouting on. Look at that, you can already see him do it. He's on top of these buildings, trying to get like a sight line. Like, hey, there's a brick there. I go in and look at that. The anti. This allows for Molflick to jump in. Of course, they cannot do it right now because Mistola is right there to protect them. But their objective, Jace, is for Molflick to see something that can die, then Kronos follows up with an anti, and that is going to be an easy kill. However, Oblivione, they are playing for the counter dive, and Mistola is really good at that. And Cookie, if they ever get a singular headshot, that is going to be a one fight just because of numbers. So this is going to be a very even matchup.
I think so. Oblivione definitely have the advantage of just playing to picks, playing slow. All they can really do is just force out the Winston, and then from there, their DPS will be able to find continuous value. They're really trying to poke out the dive here. It's not quite a poke composition from Exo, but it basically functions like that into this dive comp. Hybrid and Naga are on flankers. We should be able to swarm and surround this Hanzo of Cookie, but he's probably going to be chilling next to his backline. There we go, in that room with, and speaking of, the backline is the target, but it's for Oblivione. Cronus isolated and he falls. FD God once again split from the Ana, and that's one support after another. Nano boost goes in already so early, as Crispy is just going to walk in. Team Peps, they make the mistake of splitting their supports, and Oblivione are quick to punish.
And they're going to pay for it. In Contenders play, it's not about who plays the best, because everyone is at the top of their game. It's about who commits the less mistakes. And Naga, they are left behind, and this is going to be such a quick capture. 5 minutes basically on the time board, and that is going to be really tough for them because they have ultimates again on the side of Oblivione. Naga is cut out here, and they are getting hunted down. They cannot come back, and the fight is breaking out again without their Tracer.
Pulse Bomb doesn't stick, but Hybrid still goes into it anyway. Nano boost onto the Winston of Molfig, but I think he's been slapped up. Nice play from Sty just to disable that engage. Oblivione here looking still in control once again. It's just about this high down, I would imagine. They try and force out Molfig, Hybrid and Co here from this angle. Once they can force Team Peps back, they take all the space, which will allow Cookie to poke, Maymo to off angle, Crispy and Sty to walk up, and if they let Crispy and Sty walk up, well, those supports will do the rest, as they have done for the past 2 maps. Reminder, 2-0 Oblivione. We're in a first to 3 They only need 1 point. Cookie gonna Dragon Strike the high ground once again to buy space. Look at the zone control. The next Oblivione have got it, forces the EMP from Hybrid. And what if the DPS are anti? Do they find the pick? Yes, they do. Crispy falls. Bomb from Vestola, forced out. FD God though finds Cookie. So that's no pick potential in this fight. Maymone pincer off. Sky 1 HP as well. Nod on the pincer. It took a while, Biscuit, but that EMP was so good from Hybrid, and Team Peps finally managed to stabilize on the defense here.
And the good news is that they no longer have that unbeatable tempo next to Oblivione. They only have a Nano coming up against a Primal, which is absolutely huge, and Naga's Pulse Bomb, which Naga's Pulse Bomb, they are dangerous. Trust me, they've been performing really well this match, although they are just struggling a little bit on this defense side. Look at that. They're playing really aggressive here. WMIMon, and here comes the Pulse Bomb. They find a kill without it, and that is going to be the momentum absolutely crushed for ex-Oblivione.
Team Peps do a great job once again. I think this defensive hold is so good for them. They're allowed to stage so far up, and this fight was over before it could even happen. Team Peps got some resources to keep piling on. The World of Hurt Hybrid still racing to that EMP.
Right, and if they get EMP, that could be a one fight just by virtue of having it. Look at that, they are crawling because they are planning something devious. They want their ultimate charge, and they are waiting for the perfect time to get on Sky. Sky gets hacked, and they have to turn around. Absolutely, yeah, this fight is going to be so good. Oh, the hinder though!
The hinder lands onto Hybrid, but just for too long, playing a great job of that cover, executing, demonstrating, the matchup knowledge of the cast versus the Sombra perfect, even with all these cast changes, that rework, that hinder grenade, completely cancelling that translocator, just for reference, by the way. Naga though kills Cookie, so that's going to be no stun grenade for these pesky flankers of Team Peps. They can get into the backline. Hybrid was about 55% last time I looked, and now got it in the bank, ready to go to continue stop the hold of Oblivione have got going. Sky has Nano, would look to see it come out. It's a bit of a mid-fight here. Team Peps got ultimates, just waiting for them to pull the trigger. But I think they're just more than happy to push the cart.
Right, they're just getting to space right here in Pistola. They have an iron grip here, but Hybrid CMP might be what they need to get them out of point. And look at that, Sky EMP
onto Sky, and it's just dropped. It's basically what, like a 1 or 2 man EMP. Hybrid makes no mistake, no hesitation. Stick comes in from Naga. Cookie's High Noon is not going to be enough damage mitigation. Hybrid trying to pick onto Vestola too, and Team Peps, they commit the EMP in the split fight, drain more time back off the clock, and Biscuit, what was this, 4.5, almost 5 minutes? We're now down to the final 90 seconds. Team Peps looks so much better on 66 defense here.
Yep, looks like they are finding their footing finally, but they might be broken because this is going to be a Nano rally against a singular Nano. So Molfig's Fury has to be quick here.
Naga gets hindered in one shot.
Oh no.
The nade comes in, Cookie sticks it to Naga. They cannot recall. Apparently the grenade can cancel the laws of time. Time travel has been denied by Naga. Brutal pick for the side of Team Peps. Oblivione get to walk forward. Once again, this Adaman Brig can play. Nade comes in and it gets onto FD God and Hybrid. Do they have anywhere to translocate to? FD God doesn't. They can't walk out. They're 1 HP. But they're full once again. Nano boost onto Molfig to split the backline. We're 3 versus 3 here. Cookie once again finds a pick onto Naga. 2-0 in the last 30 seconds. Vestola cleans up Molfig. And that Winston hard committed, couldn't go anywhere, and just ultimately a lamb to the slaughter, a monkey to the slaughter, I guess. Speaking of slaughter, FD God and Cronus just completely blitzed by Oblivione. Looks like they managed to find the fight. It only cost them Pulse Bomb and Rally, might I add. Team Peps, I don't think they're going to get to walk back out here. Third is unlocked.
And I'm just saying, Naga stole my word strike there. That was an unreal nade. Even if it doesn't find the kills, it forces Cronus to use a Nano onto Molfig to divert their attention. Because, like, come on, shoot at the monkey, don't shoot at me. But then, like, your entire team is split. You don't have the peel, you don't have your tank, and your entire team is dead. Only because Sky pressed E at the right moment, at the right time. So, trust me, this is going to be a really good fight coming up for Oblivione because they do have their bomb, they do have the Deadeye. But this EMP, it has to be huge. And we've seen Hybrid's EMPs. If someone is the man for the job, it is him, because this is going to break a fight, and it's the only thing they need.
Oh, EMP onto Sky. It's just a solo ult, but once again, the Ana is so important in this composition. This is why you play the Brig, by the way, to keep the Egyptian grandmother alive, and then who will then keep the rest of your team alive. Unfortunately, yeah, of course you can't do that if she's dead. Great EMP from Hybrid. All that they need, and that's just going to be the fight.
Yeah, Hybrid literally just EMPs by themselves, got a kill on the Sky, and now the push is dead. That's how support works, and that is how you play Sombra. But the fight is breaking again.
Naga pulls bombs to the floor, but it's just going to be a zoning material. Cookie and Sky, if they'd have walked onto it, they would have been blown up. Molfig with those flying fists of fury, the Winston ultimate. Crispy finding Hybrid means there's no exit EMP charge But that's all to it. Team Peps, once again, once they stabilize, it really feels like they can chain a couple of impressive defensive dives here.
Yeah, and 30 seconds left on the clock, Jace. This means that whatever team wins this fight, they basically have the momentum to close it out. If they have the rally, they pop it early. They want to keep Cronus alive.
Oh, Crispy falls. Now they've got a free line onto Sky, should they choose to do it. Cronus falls, though they kind of have to trade back this Ana. And they do. FD God's still alive, so basically the only support right now. Hybrid, great peel pick onto Maymone to keep Crispy. Sorry, to keep FD God alive. Quickie here in the backline. Hinder grenade might just be the death of Hybrid. Gonna respect it and translocate out. We're gonna see the overtime wick burning here. Can anyone on the side of Team Peps touch? I don't think they did. There we go. It's tagged at the last second. The EMP is dropped. FD God falls first though. Malfi gets the pick as Hybrid is still alive in this fight. Vestola falls out of his bed. It's a 3v4 on the point here on the objective. Respawn's coming in for the side of Team Peps. It looks like it is just going to be a hold Oblivione. It would be miraculous for them to turn this back. No Sojourn overclock. No shenanigans from Maymone. Sky, though, finds Naja. Surely not. It might just be it. Might just be the fight. Crispy and Sky trying to turn it around on their own. Need supports, these bloodthirsty supports. But Cronus and FD God say anything you can do, we can do better. And it was supporter combat in the last fight. And unfortunately, the green team come out with their money on top. And Team Peps, it was an impressive attack from Oblivione. But they really managed to stagger out the clock, did Team Peps, and they find, honestly, a very, very good hold here. All they need is that second corner of third point, and Team Peps avoid the sweep and take it to a 2-1.
They were running, they were flying, but they run into the wall that Hybrid is. That EMP was so massive, and they got it again in under a second, Jace. And that is just like the little difference. The tiny, an ultimate that doesn't seem as impactful. Like, it's just one ultimate, and it ends up winning you 2 fights in a row. And then you have FD God and Cronus to do like cleanup work for you. That's all you need to win a point. And finally, putting a bit of a break onto Oblivione. They've been winning almost uncontested, but now they don't get the 3-0 as they expected, and this could be what Team Peps needs to get back into the game. Just little by little, they are doing it. And Naga, such clean work at the Tracer. Cronus has been keeping up FD God and Molvik forever. This is a team that, you know, they didn't have a really good start of these first 2 maps, but this might be what they need. I'm just saying. And Oblivione, they are now on defense. Vestola is going to have a much better time. Diva, of course, a much more defensive tank than Winston is. And Cookie on the Hanzo, although that is a very diveable target, they have Crispy, they have Sky. It doesn't matter. If he ever gets naded by his own, if he gets his heals amped, he's not dying. And Monkey, trust me, is going to have a really bad time running into those shotguns that Diva has.
Yes, absolutely. And I think EXO won't hesitate to throw Maymone on the Echo and Crispy on the Mercy for a chance they get. They looked so good on it on Numbani, and I think Route 66 second can function in a similar way. Hybrid hit, ghosting on this Sombra, just going to try and stay around any scouting to find the hack onto the Diva. It's going to disable the defense matrix, which will allow Team Peps to hopefully take some valuable ground, but both these tanks contesting the low ground. Luckily though, Vestola can just peel back into the top. Malfig jumps up. Once again, both of these tanks dueling. Winston versus Diva. Battle of the old dive tanks trying to vie for space here on top of the gas station. This Tracer 1v1, something to look out for as well. Maymone versus Naga. Both of these Tracer's going to be contesting that side angle, which will then allow one to pincer on the backline and follow up with their tank. Very crucial flank control here done by both of these Tracers. A minute already gone from the time bank. Not small, but not insignificant either. Cookie Storm Arrows come down, not going to find anything. Molvik falls so low. Naga does though. Sky Ripper once again finding the fight, and you can see why Team Peps are trying to get rid of this pesky Ana first, because Sky Ripper is just doing so much on this Ana.
Sky is showing that supports are going to be what carries this game. Like, my DPS may be doing so much damage, but I'm going to do the same. And Team Peps, they are running into a wall again. I'm just saying, Vestola is just making it so impossible for them. Whenever Molfik dives, he doesn't have the support that he needs, because Vestola eats their damage on the side of Hybrid and Naga, and you can never kill anything. And look at that, Maymone going for a pulse bomb here.
And these tickets manages to land it on the support so low, but Maymone, unfortunately, on their own. Vestola is hacked up. So even if they wanted to boost in to follow up their Tracer, they couldn't. Managed to draw the attention of the backline though for just a second. Naga though got their eyes set on on EXO's backline. Cookie falls first. Vestola trades for FD God, and now this is a 2v2 in the backline. Just won by Vestola. Sky getting the helping hand in there, so it's kind of really a 3v2, but Team Peps, they leave their backline isolated. It's just a case of can they trade onto the enemies. Sky falls, Crispy's rally means it's not going to be as simple. And Team Peps, I don't mind that they gave up their battle line there, Biscuit, but like they just couldn't trade back quickly in time. Excellent commit of the rally for EXO. And once again, 90 seconds remaining for Team Peps. They look to be in a little bit of a hole here.
Yep, Molfig has to trade their backlines if they want to win because, again, you said it earlier, when you're on Winston, it's all or it's nothing. And the bomb is going to get used here in a very weird position, doesn't find anything, and this is going to be a nano onto the monkey.
Oh, the EMP comes in though, it's massive from Hybrid, drop down onto 4. Crispy was one of the 4 hacked up and immediately eliminated. Molfig finds a pincer. Team Peps managed to push this car all the way through. Great stick just to end the fight. Actually, that was Maymone's stick. Potentially trying to turn it around now. Numbers just too big for Team Peps. And we were waiting for that EMP, weren't we? Hybrid drops it, makes no mistake. Team Peps unlocked the point from there. Now then, what can Team Peps do with this forward advantage that they've got from securing the first point?
Look, they are slowly but surely breaking the shell that is Oblivione's defensive comp. But this is not as good as they would have wanted. Why? Because they almost have support ultimates on the side of Oblivione. They set up for Hacks and Sky, but Crispy's just keeping them up forever. And this D.Va, she has to get out of Mech or Molfig will never get the worth that they want the cookie. Be careful because if he lands a headshot, this is going to be a 1-5 from the beginning. The Dragons are online, and this is going to be Vistola getting caught out a little bit here by the hack.
Oh, Vistola hacked. Losing his armor is the big key threshold. That's when Team Peps can safely all in that D.Va. No damage mitigation that can be healed back up. Just healing armor in these mid-fights so OP. Makes your tank so sustainable. Maymone and Cookie though stripped Molfig of his armor and the rest of his HP pool and his life. Naga falls too. Cronus third, FD dodge fourth. Really clean defensive counter dive. Oblivione find the fight earlier than Team Peps managed to do on their defensive go. 2 minutes left on the clock. Team Peps though, bunch of resources ready to go.
And all eyes are on the ultimate charges because there's going to be 5 ultimates. However, I do think that Team Peps does have the advantage here. EMP and Hybrid. That is a combo that you don't want to be on the receiving end of. Where spy checking here on Vistola, kind of keeping Hybrid in check. And there's going to be a Dragon's. Yep, absolutely.
There's Dragon Strike in the room. Great Dragon Strike in that room. Team Peps really wanted to stage from there, potentially build Nano Charge with Molfig, and then go on the hard engage with the EMP perhaps. EMP still available to go. FD dodge rally is just going to expire to give a bunch of overhealth to the side of Team Peps, but it's no good if you're not going to fight with it. Crispy's rally comes down to. It's going to be teetering between life and death. Pulse bombing, great peel nano from Sky to keep their brig alive. And now let's see what Crispy can get done with this mace. Probably spamming the voice line I would. Mace to the face, but Maymone and Cookie, the DPS, are going to do the rest of the work. All the attention and focus was committed to Crispy and Sky. That left Cookie and Maymone wandering, unchecked, unmarked, and they made Team Peps pay.
And not the best of looks right here, Jace, because they invested Nano even after 2 of their players were already dead. That means that you now only have your EMP, and if this EMP finds a support, sure, it could be winnable. But they still have the bomb on Vistola and bomb, although it isn't going to kill someone. That is going to give D.Va another 600 HP to play with. So this is a very dangerous push, and we're coming into the 1 minute mark. They have to get it, or they're out for today. And this is going to be Vistola. Yep,
EMP comes into play. Onto Crispy and immediately get rid of the brig. Once again, it should be easier now to find Sky on the subsequent follow-up dive, but not if Molfig advantage loses their armor and has nowhere to go afterwards. Bomb force from Vistola, strips that HP. Can it find anything? No, it cannot. It shouldn't really at this level anyway. It's just about getting back into the mech. Maymone's pulse bomb could be the way back into this fight though. For EXO, Crispy has respawned and going to be trying to get back. Looks like they couldn't find Sky on that follow-up dive and really they're a black hole right now. All the attention, all the resources funneled around this Ana of EXO. The entire fight is being dictated by them. Vistola though falls Molfig. Cronus isolated, lost LOS, could not heal Molfig in time, and well, Molf just completely blown up. Cookie though, we talked about these headshots, you mentioned them, Biscuit. Finds one onto Hybrid here. EXO still in this fight, 6 seconds, 5 nano onto Vistola. This is the time for Oblivione to aggress to seal the series right here to get that 3-0. Great start. FD dodge falls. Molfig now on his own. Cronus loses LOS once again. Can they burst down the Winston? Yes, they can. Molfig falls. Vistola finds Cronus in the backline anyway, and I think these trades are too good for Oblivione. Route 66 will be theirs, and Team Peps were not ready to play today. The Black Hole, Sisyphus, whatever you want to call him, Sky Ripper completely ran this lobby from the backline, and Oblivione off a great performance from their Ana. And this is without giving credit to everyone else on EXO's side as well. Vistola and Maymone in particular, so good when they needed to be, but it was all about the backline, at least in my opinion. Sky was able to influence his game so much. A maestro orchestrating the dive from Ex Oblivione, pulling the strings in the backline, whatever phrase you want to use. Starripper, my man of the match, and deservedly so, dictating the tempo and every single cooldown that was used. Ex Oblivione on their way to 6-1 record and a clean, quick sweep of a 3-0 onto Team Peps.
You're absolutely stealing the words from my mouth because Sky is the absolute MVP, the maestro, just as you were saying. They are using those antis. The fight is won. They use their nanos in Numbani whenever they want to set up the tempo, and
The
their
Peel
team always
Nanos.
has ultimates. Yeah.
These Peel Nanos, by the way, were so good from Sky, and just the instant reaction to do them, no hesitation, being able to build them up so fast, basically had it level with the pulse bombs that came out from Team Peps on whoever was Tracer. Man, I really couldn't. I believe the phrase is wax lyrical. That's an old-fashioned British phrase, I believe. But I couldn't wax lyrical enough about how good Sky was on this honor. And listen, supports in this meta, you get the full Dead by Daylight experience. But when you don't, when you're allowed to live, you do that and you just run lobbies. I don't know what else to say.
Right, it happens. It's some of these players. They make you play support, Jace. I play support, and I sometimes feel like I'm playing Dead by Daylight. But these guys, they look like they're the captains on the ship. They are making support look like it's the best role ever to play, and they are here to play it. Look at that! They close it out 3-0, and yes, you said it at the beginning, and I agree entirely. This is the Sisyphus myth. Where they keep playing against Oblivione and they keep putting up the wall. One day they might beat them, but that day is not today, Chase. It's
No.
just going to be Sky setting it up, and you can see here the round 7 matches. So even though Team Peps doesn't get to win today, X will be only signing off a very strong game today. We have a couple of games coming up, and I just want to point it out. It's Twisted Minds playing versus 0-4 Dash. That is an interesting match. It's one of the bottom teams against the top team right now, so a little interesting. And YS Pitbull Storm versus SR Peak Check with SR Peak Check, another favorite team of mine. So trust me, you don't want to go anywhere. You guys have to stay logged in, and even though Team Peps doesn't close it off today, you can see the rest of the games later.
Yes, so we've got Sheer Cold Overwatch coming up. Sheer Cold currently going on, and I believe either EXO or Team Peps have got another game ready to go. And that's going to be it, guys, for us. Thank you so much for tuning into this Mystic Esports broadcast. My name is Jace. That was, and that still is, Biscuit. Great performance from EXO on their own stream, might I add, sending out a statement warning to the rest of the bracket with that quick defeat of Team Peps. And can they build on it? 6-1 record looking pretty good. Twisted Minds, I believe, still unbeaten. But definitely EXO firmly planting themselves in that second spot in the contenders bracket. We've got some more contenders. Keep an eye on the Timeless Project Twitter for the rest of today's schedule. And in about 15 minutes or so, Gio will join Biscuit for Ex Oblivione versus Pitbull Storm. This one should be banger. Pitbull Storm coming off a big win yesterday, getting that win against Sheer Cold. That one should be a certified banger. But that's going to be it from us. And we're going to throw to break now. So 15 minutes or so. Be back here for about 7:30 Central Eastern European time. Central European summertime for that Pitbull Storm versus EXO game. Thank you guys once again. See you in 15. Take care, have a lovely rest of your evening, and more contenders coming right back up after this short break.